All right, I want to deal with the Adam Schefter report. All right, so Adam Schefter of ESPN breaks the news on Jason Pierre-Paul and did something that has everybody up in arms. Social media, a Twitter. Yeah, everybody's a Twitter. NFL connected people, very angry with this. They've thrown a number of tweets out. In fact, let's read a couple of the tweets from guys who play now and guys who have played in the past. They're very upset that those medical records were put up on Twitter. James Harrison, still in the league, a linebacker, says, "You're a real piece of blank for putting that picture up." He wrote that directly to Adam Schefter's Twitter feed.
Real piece of cake.
Yeah, real piece of cake. Shannon Sharp, our boy, says, "Couldn't ESPN be culpable for releasing JPP medical records? Hope ESPN in council signed off on this. This could get ugly." And then we've got one from Justin Tuck, who's currently playing. "I'm going on a hunch here, but I'm pretty sure that those medical docs obtained by ESPN are a violation of some sort. Not the smartest, but ... Guys, if you had these medical records, we're all journalists here. You guys are in print. You've spent 3/4 of your lives doing this. What would you do if you had those medical records?
I would talk to my counsel. I would talk to my editor. In the Twitter world, it's hard to resist pressing the button. But once I did that, I would press the button and let them fly. Because this is 2015, my friend, and it's it's not the Pentagon Papers. I get that. It's just football. But it is just that. It is just football. It's not, you didn't release the fact that JPP has terminal cancer. You released the fact that he blew off his finger. So I wouldn't have liked it if my wife had surgery this morning, and if you released any of her medical records on Twitter, I wouldn't like it, and she wouldn't like it. But if a person at the hospital forwarded it to Adam Schefter and he decided to run those medical records for whatever reason, well, then...
It's not against HIPAA laws for a news organization to release this stuff.
When you go to the hospital, as your wife has, and I have, and all of us have,
sure,
or to the doctor, you have to sign, when you're filling out all the information about your medical history, you have a HIPAA page, and you can say, who can we release this to? Your other doctor, a family member, and you sign it. You make a contract with the doctor or the hospital saying, I don't want this released. So Adam Schefter's not at fault. He didn't steal any of these documents. They were given to him by somebody. The hospital, I've heard in the last few minutes, is conducting now an investigation. We've heard that.
The New York Daily News is reporting that somebody in Jason Pierre-Paul's camp leaked the information.
Well, and that's a possibility too. So it could have been that he said you can release this to a family or friend, a family member or friend, and they wouldn't have violated anything. Am I making sense there?
Yes.
They could have said to Adam Schefter, it could have been an agent or somebody who worked for the agent, because he probably did say you can give the information to my agent. It's a lot of gray area here, but to specifically answer your question, I wouldn't have posted the photo.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either.
Adam Schefter has...
What's the difference between posting the photo or according to, or just typing on Twitter and in a article and posting it online to say, according to medical records obtained by ESPN? What's the difference? There is no difference.
No, Mark, that's a great question. For me personally, I would just have an ethical, moral problem with it. To me, some things are still private.
Well, then you shouldn't report the story at all.
Well,
I mean, there is no gray area on this to me. If you firmly believe it's ethically and morally wrong to release the fact that the hospital, you have a hospital record, then you shouldn't release the story at all. That's your only choice there. Once you release the story...
I think there are degrees. I think there are degrees.
What's the degree?
Okay, how about this? I had sexual relations with this person, but I'm not going to put the photos or the videotape up.
But there is no photos here.
There are two different things here.
But there are no photos here. And I'll go to our bubble blast. We put up artist rendering of it as a joke. Is that not much? I mean, how do you think that plays in JPP's family right now? I don't think they think it's funny. I think it's kind of amusing, to tell you the truth. But we live in a Twitter world.
True.
Where the argument is not about the knucklehead who blew off his finger, but should we shown a photo of a sentence that says his finger was amputated?
Here's where I have an issue. You said, well, if you're going to write it, go ahead and post it. We've gotten pictures and photos. I'm kind of following up on it. We've gotten pictures and photos, let's say, of someone in a bar, a player in a bar. The story is a true story. As a journalist, I draw a line saying, I'm going to publish pictures of the medical report. And now, is that a moral decision by me or the newspaper or the network or whatever? I think that's a personal choice. I just believe that Adam Schefter has 3.5 million followers on Twitter. We've worked with him. He worked here at the Denver Post.
We're all friends of his.
And I would say he's accurate 95% of the time. And so people have trust and belief. He has a reputation for getting his facts correct. I think that it's overkill to show the medical records. I put myself in that position. You're putting yourself in the position. I would have held back on that.
To me, if you're going to get on the high horse, though, you can't release any of it. If you say he blew his finger off, then that's the invasion of the
Mark,
privacy.
I disagree with that. I think there are degrees of information. I think there are degrees. I don't think it's a black-white issue.
But you're making the point that it's a photo, and there is no photo. There's a photo of a piece of paper. It's not a photo of his hand.
No, but medical records. They're his personal medical records. Things that he might not want out in public.
Then JPP and you should be furious at the knucklehead that gave him to Adam Schefter. He didn't go into the hospital and grab
absolutely.
them.
And I would agree with you that I've already made my personal feelings known, but they're targeting the wrong person here.
Right.
It's not Adam Schefter. He was the recipient. He went with the news story. Whoever released it, whether it's somebody from the players' camp or somebody from the hospital, that's the person who has committed the grave mistake, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I'm guessing he did go through counsel at ESPN before he did, because Adam's a smart guy. If nothing else, he's a smart guy.